State may call its next witness.
The state rests.
And that's it for the prosecution in the Jodi Arias murder trial. They called a few final witnesses, and they wrapped their case in chief this afternoon. Now, they could still come back with a rebuttal case after the defense goes, but their main case is done. The final witness, Leslie Udi, she was a friend of Jodi Arias, and she got on the stand and talked about how Arias told her that she moved to California from Arizona to get separation after her breakup. Now, on the stand, she described a tearful phone call that Jodi made to her days after Alexander's death. Take a listen.
What was the defendant's demeanor?
She was upset. She was crying.
And what was she saying?
She was saying that this was about the time of day that she normally would talk to Travis, that they were both night people and that they would talk about that time, and that she had lost her best friend and that she didn't know what to do. When she usually.
After the prosecution rested, the judge announced that the trial was adjourned for almost 2 weeks. That means the jury doesn't come back until the 29th. So the prosecution wraps. Court's in recess for, again, 2 weeks. So what does that mean? They're going to walk away, but they can't talk to people about this case. They can't read stuff about this case. How do you do that over 2 weeks? Got jury consultant and body language expert Sue Constantine with us, and also former police detective Steve Kardian. Great to see you both. And Steve, Sue's talking about how photos and things like that are really going to stay in their mind. What do you think is going to stay in their mind the most over the next 2 weeks from the prosecution's case?
Ryan, I think there's several things. I think seeing the interrogation, seeing her lie, and seeing Detective Flores break down those lies with concrete, solid evidence and show the true Jodi, very, very powerful. The photographs, the timeline of the photographs, her being in the photographs is very, very compelling evidence. Also, the gun. Depending upon how the jury views the gun, it's going to be very powerful. The timeline, a week before the burglary at her grandparents' house, the gun, 25 caliber being used. So we don't see, and how can you understand that you bring a gun to a love session and then you have a gun, a knife, and a camera show up in the bathroom where he died? That clearly shows premeditation.
Yeah, okay. Now, Susan, Steve, let me say this. We have just a little bit of time left, so I want to get a quick thought from both of you. The defense coming back, what's the main thing they need to do in their case?
Well, they really need to convince that this was a self-defense, and I don't think they're going to be able to do that, but that's the only thing that they can really do is to unravel all the stuff that the state said and really put reasonable doubt there that she really was there to try to defend herself.
And Steve, what do they need to do to prove that self-defense?
They're going to bring in domestic violence experts, battered women's syndrome experts, behavioral experts, and they're going to try and show and use her interrogation to say, hey, this is just exactly how a battered woman should respond.
Okay, and the big question will be, will she take the stand herself? Susan Constantine, Steve Kardian, thank you so much.
Thanks, Ryan.